So hello, my name is Ram, and I'll be your instructor for this yoga class today. And I've been doing yoga for about 30 years. So I'll take you through, guide you step by step through yoga, developing your own yoga practice. So yoga we'll start with physical postures. That's actually a great place to start in modern times because we're all stiff and we're stressed out. So yoga is fantastic for that. But as we do yoga more and more, it's also about keeping your mind, maintaining equanimity, keeping your mind, open and always in the moment. So that's also a part of yoga. And as we develop it, I'll talk about that. I'll talk a bit more about yoga as we go through the class. And so yoga is a very deep subject, and you could spend a lifetime going through all the different aspects of yoga. So you can really think of this as a start of your journey. And I can say honestly, it'll transform your life. If you do a yoga practice regularly, you'll enhance your life. You'll be healthier, happier, your immune system will be boosted, you'll be able to handle stressful situations, and you'll generally be able to enjoy life to the fullest. So let's just start. So first, what I'd like you to do is just sit in a comfortable cross-legged position. So if it's not possible to sit comfortably cross-legged like I am, then you can put a little cushion under your seat. But I just want to actually just spend a little bit of time just closing our eyes and taking a few deep breaths. So close your eyes, just rest your hands on your knees, and just take a couple of deep breaths. So inhaling deeply, filling your belly with each breath, and then exhaling, release. So again, inhaling, and give an exhale, release. And just breathe quietly, just letting go of your day, and just tuning into your body, and just feel how you are in this moment. Just scan through your body. Do you feel any tension in your body? Scan starting with your face. Do you have any tension in your face? Just open your mouth a little bit so your teeth aren't clenched. And just scan through your shoulders. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed. And your whole body is relaxed. So what I want you to do throughout the class is just keep breathing steadily, no matter what. Never hold your breath. And in a lot of movements, there's a natural exhalation and inhalation that happens. And I'll explain that to you as we go along. And I also want you to, you're not in a competition with everybody. So do the postures to the extent of your ability. And if you need to, at some point you get tired, you need to rest, just come out of the pose and just rest. So there's no forcing. So let's start with a gentle warm up. So the first thing I like to do is just warm up our spine. So I want you to get on your hands and knees, hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. And as you exhale, you're going to start arching from the base of the spine. Exhale. Then as you inhale, you're going to sink from the base of the spine and look up. And as you exhale, arch your back. Inhale, so start the movement from the base of your spine and move up your spine. So now we're just trying to loosen up our spine. We build up a lot of tension in our spine from sitting. So this will help kind of loosen it up a little bit. And I can actually feel there's some release in my back as I do this. Good, and now we're going to switch to dynamic variation. As you exhale, bring your right knee and nose towards each other. And as you exhale, look up, take the leg back. So going back and forth your breath. So exhale, bring your knee and chest together. Inhale, look up. Try to make your breath as audible as you can at the beginning. Good, and finishing on this side, and we'll change sides. As you exhale, bring your knee and nose towards each other. As you inhale, look up, take the leg back. Going back and forth with your breath. Good, and just come back to center. And now I want you to take your right arm, lift it up, and take it through. Just watch for a second and just rest, just stretching out your shoulders a little bit. Take a few breaths here, take 3 breaths. Good, and now changing to the other side, lift your left arm up and thread it through, and take 3 breaths. Good, and just come up standing. And we'll start with our standing series to start with. So first, I'm going to teach you the most basic pose in yoga. That's mountain pose. So what you want to do is take your big toes together, heels slightly apart so the edges of your feet are parallel with your mat. Okay, and then what I want to do from here is I want you to lift up your kneecaps, activate the quadriceps. I want you to roll the shoulders up and back. And your hands have energy. So your legs are active, your chest is lifting. Imagine there's a string pulling the top of your head up, and imagine you're holding some light suitcases in your hands. So your body's active but not tense. So just take a few breaths here. So in yoga, no matter what posture you're in, you think of really getting that spinal extension. All this sitting and other things we do tends to compress our spine. So we want to have a nice long spine. So no matter what you're doing, whether you're doing a forward bend, back bend, you want to keep your spine nice and long, no matter what you do. Okay, so now we'll just do a variation. We're going to do tree pose. So I want you to shift the weight into your right foot and bring your left foot up. Wherever you might not just try on your ankles first, wherever you can maintain your balance. You may not feel balanced. Wherever, don't put it against the knee. You don't want to press on the knee. It should be above or below the knee. So wherever is comfortable, and just bring your hands into prayer position and just hold it. So this is just going to help you with your balance. If you're wobbling a little bit, that's fine. You know, your body's not used to it, and it'll come with time. So wherever it is comfortable, don't force it. Just try and keep your balance, focus on a fixed spot in front of you, and just breathe steadily. Good, and then change sides. Bring the other foot up. Wherever you can maintain your balance. It's okay, if you're having trouble with balance, just keep it lower. It doesn't matter, wherever you are, just settle into the position and breathe. Good, and just come back to standing, and then we'll do another. So just reach your hands up, and exhale, release. And inhale up again, and exhale, release. As you inhale up, come up onto your toes, lift up onto your toes, stretch your arms up, and just hold it, and exhale, release. We'll do it again, inhale up, and exhale, release. Okay, and now we're going to do a side stretch. So just take your arms up, interlace your palms. So interlace your palms, and then just go over to one side. On an exhalation, go over to one side, and then inhale back to center, and exhale to the other side. Good, and release. Okay, now we're going to start doing some of our classical standing poses. So standing poses are really good for energizing your body and giving you a feeling of strength and stability. So the first thing we're going to do is a pose called triangle pose. So I want you to turn your right foot out at 90, turn your left foot in a little bit, Yeah, so just have it about a bit longer than the shoulder width. Inhale the arms up. And then I don't want you to just hinge from the weight, just lean forward and then just let the hand drop where it drops and then take the other hand up and look at your hand. Good, keep breathing. Keep thinking of lengthening your spine, lengthening through your fingertips. Legs are active, but not tense. Good, and then inhale, come up. Change your feet, so turn your right foot, turn your left foot at 90 degrees. Inhale, exhale, and bend forward. And go up. Look at your thumb of your upper hand. And just keep breathing steadily. So you should be getting a good stretch on the side of your body and in your hip. Good, and then inhale up. Turn to the other side. Now we're going to do a pose called Warrior Two. So here what you're going to do is you're going to bend the front knee, keep the back leg straight. You can walk the foot a bit forward. You want your knee to be behind your level or behind your ankle, not in front. And just try and keep your, don't let your arms drop. Keep them at shoulder width and look through the tip of your middle finger. Looking forward, that's it. So really opening up in the groins here. Okay, and keep breathing, inhale and exhale. And every time you exhale, see where you can just bend that front knee just a little bit more. Good, and then come up. Change sides. Inhale, exhale, bend the knee. Don't let the arms sag. And just breathe and hold the position. You should be getting that nice opening in your groin and in your quadricep. And just look over the tip of the middle finger. Good. And release. And now going to the other side. This time we're going to bend our knee. This time we're going to put our forearm onto our thigh. Okay, and then you're just going to try and extend the other arm up. Wherever it goes. You may not be able to straighten your arm if you can, but just let it just rest on your elbow and just hold the position. Extended side angle stretch. Good. And then come up and go to the other side. Bend the knee, put the forearm onto your thigh, and then extend the other arm. Keep pushing through the heel of the back leg. Have the weight nailing your front foot, and extend the arm. And just turn your head in towards your armpit. Good, and just come back to the middle. And you just have both feet parallel, and you're going to just go down onto your hands. If you can't get onto your hands, or you can just hang onto your hips. If you can get your hands on the floor, keep your hands on the floor. You can line up the hands in line with your feet. If that's okay, you can try to stretch forward onto your hands. If that's okay, you could bend your elbows a little bit. So wherever is comfortable for you. So when you do stretching in yoga, you need to do it at 80% of the maximum. So you don't want to be at the maximum. You want to do it about 80%, so you're able to get the benefit of stretching without injuring yourself. Good, and then you're going to come up. I'm going to do one final stretch. So I just want to take your left leg in front, right foot behind, and then you're going to interlace your hands. Just interlace your hands. If you could put them in reverse prayer, you can. Otherwise, just interlace your hands. So make sure you feel balanced. Have your feet about shoulder width apart. Inhale, look up. And exhale, just stretch forward. And just release your head. You could bend your front knee. Keep the back leg straight. You can bend the front knee a little bit if you need to. And just release. And just take a few breaths here. Good, and inhale, come up. And you just come up, come back to the middle, and then just change sides. Make sure you're feeling well balanced. Inhale, look up, and exhale, release. And just release, let your head go. So just breathe and try to soften. So you try and release on each out breath. So in yoga, that's, so yeah. So inhale, think of lengthening a little bit, and exhale, release. And just let your head go and release into the posture. If your front knee is bent, that's perfectly fine. Good, and inhale, come up. Good, so that was our standing sequence. And so now we'll do our inversions. Don't worry, we're not going to do any headstands or anything today, but it's something we'll work up towards over time. So the first thing we'll do, we're just actually going to do something called a dolphin. So just interlace your hands, have your elbows underneath your shoulders, and you're just going to you can do it on your knee. You could stay on your knee if that's more comfortable, or if it's possible, you go up on your knee and you can do with your knees off the ground. So exhale as you go forward, inhale as you come back. Good, and then rest. So this is working on developing your core muscles. Just rest in child's pose. If you need to, you can use your hand as a pillow. So your head and neck are relaxed. If it's comfortable, you can also take your hand on, you can put your head on the floor. So wherever is comfortable. Good, and come up. So we're going to do a pose called downward facing dog, which is quite, you probably may have heard of it. So we'll just go through that step by step. And it's, again, good for really stretching out that lower back and your hamstrings. So what I want you to do is have your hands underneath your shoulders, spread your palms. Now I want you to have your knees under your hips, curl your toes under, and then I want you to keep the knees bent and lift. Try and lift it, keep your knees bent, lift the hips as high as they'll go, and then just release. Release your heels wherever they're comfortable. So in the beginning, you're not likely to be able to get the heels on the ground, but that's perfectly fine. And just breathe here. So the way you improve in yoga is by repetition, not by forcing anything. So the more times you repeat a pose, the more deeper you'll be able to get into it. And it's really about the process. It's not actually the poses themselves, the process of doing them that has a tremendous number of benefits. Good, and now I just want you to bend your knees and just rest in child's pose. Again, use a pillow with your hands if that's more comfortable. So after a while, this may be the part where we begin to start learning headstand, but we won't do that today. This is just an introductory class. Okay, so now we'll do some back bend sequence just to stretch out our backs. So what I want you to do is just lie down on your back with your knees bent. And then I just want you to push your hands on the ground and just, as you inhale, lift the hips up. And exhale, release. And inhale up. And exhale, release. And inhale up. And exhale, release. And now I want you to roll over into your tummy. We'll do a few other back bends, but we'll do it on our tummy. So just make a pillow with your hands and turn your head to one side. And then just lift up your head. And inhale and lift. You may not be able to lift very much, but that's okay. And then just exhale, release. And then lift your head, take your arms to the side, inhale and lift, and exhale, release. And then lift up your head, arms behind, and lift. And exhale, release, make a pillow with your arms, and just rest your head. And we'll do one final back bend. So I just want you to bend your knees. And I want you to just, if you can reach your ankles, grab your ankles, wherever you can reach, and just lift up your chest. If you can reach your ankle, if you're able to do that, you could also lift up the chest. But if you're not able to, don't worry. Just do to what you can, lift up and then release. That's a fairly intense one. Release and just go into child's pose again. Then rest your forehead on the mat or make a pillow with your arms and rest. And take a few breaths here. Okay, now we'll go back onto your back. We'll just take the back bend just a little bit deeper. So just lying on your back with your knees bent. And this time, see where you can interlace your fingers, slide, roll your shoulders under, and lift up a bit higher. Possible. If that's too much, just go back to the way you were, just with your hands on the floor. And just lift up. If that's enough for you, stay there. If you want to do something more, you can just lift up one leg. And release. And the other leg. And release. Good. And then release the hands. As you exhale, release your off the floor and just bend your knees into your chest. Fold your knees into your chest and just make a circle with your knees. Massage up that lower back. And just roll onto your right side. And we'll do some forward bends now to counteract our back bends. So let's just do, we'll do some standing forward bends and then we'll move to sitting forward bends. So I just want you to do something quite simple. So just stretch back. So just take your arms up, stretch back, and then just fold over, just interlace hold your elbows with the opposite hand and just let yourself hang. Have your knees bent a little bit and just let yourself relax. So you should feel a nice stretch in the back of the hamstring in both your legs, and just breathe and release. And then just bend your knees and slowly roll out. Okay, so now we'll do some sitting forward bends. So first start with your right leg forward and just tuck the left leg in. So you tuck the left leg in this way. And again, have inhale up. So in this, I don't want you to think about going down, but I don't want you to think of length. So just lengthen, bend from your hip, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. When you reach your maximum, just let your hand drop. And just release your head. So don't worry about touching your toes or anything, but try and just keep a nice long spine and just release your head and take a few breaths here. See what you can release in the hamstring with each breath. Good, and then just inhale and come up. And exhale, release. And change sides. So bring the right foot into your thigh. And just inhale up. And exhale forward. Again, just keep reaching forward and drop. It's okay, if your knee bends a little bit, that's all right. If it feels comfortable, you can actually, if that's still comfortable, you can grab your toes or just keep your hands on the floor. Just remember, it's the process. It's not actually whether you touch your hands on the floor and your feet doesn't really matter. It's about doing the process and really working with your breath, working in the posture, finding that edge, that 80% stretch, 80% of the maximum. So your hamstrings allow them to stretch. Good, and inhale, come up. Exhale, release. And now we're going to do both feet together. So I'm going to sit on your sitting bones and get your inhale up. Exhale, stretch forward. And just, you can even do it slowly. Stretch, 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 stretch. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Drop your hands wherever they are. Release your head. And breathe. So the state of your breath determines the state of your mind. So if your breath is long and calm, then your mind will be calm. If your breath is uneven and ragged, then your mind will be all over the place. So just keep breathing softly and steadily, and that'll quiet your mind. Just focus on your body, on the posture. You don't have to worry about anything else. Feel where the posture is working your body. Where are you holding? Is it in your back, in your hamstring? And just breathe and try to soften a little bit. Good, and just inhale, come up again. And now I want you to just take your legs out wide. Just try and work your legs as wide as they'll go, wherever that is. Good. And we're going to do half facing. So we're going to go over to the left. And so just reach across. You might be able to grab your toe or just your ankle and just stretch. If it's comfortable, you can reach your toe and you can go a bit deeper. But again, don't force it. And just take some nice deep breaths. So when you calm your mind, that really helps to boost your immune system, helps you reduce stress. It's really very powerful. And then let's just go to the other side. Again, have a feeling of effortlessness. Don't strain and struggle, just let things happen. And again, just keep that breath nice and soft. Keep your mind relaxed. Keep your focus on the postures and the breathing. Good, and just come back to the middle. Okay, I want you to just open your legs a little bit more, if that's possible, and I just want you to stretch into the middle. If we do a lot of sitting, so this is actually very difficult for some people, so that's fine. My son can go all the way down, but he's young and he hasn't been sitting for forever on a desk like we have. So you can then, if that's okay, you could creep your hands forward. So wherever it is, and just relax your head. Just keep breathing, keep the focus. So a really good yoga session is like a meditation because your mind's not wandering all over the place. It's really focused in the now, in the present. Good, and and just come up again. Good, and just gently bring your feet together. We'll just do a few more stretches and then we'll go into our final relaxation. So let's open up our groin. So bring your heels in as close as you can. Bring the soles of your feet together. And you could just gently press on the knees with your elbows and just lean forward slightly. And just breathe and release. So in this pose, you can actually pulse your knees if you like, because the muscle here is very strong. So you can pulse it a little bit, or you can just put some gentle pressure. And again, just breathe. Use your breath. Use the breath as a tool for release. Every exhalation, just soften a little bit. Think about being softer. Good, and inhale, come up. And now we're going to do a hip opener. So what I want you to do is straighten your left leg and just support the right foot with your arm. So however you can hold it, and just slowly lift the foot up. So if it's possible, you can cradle your leg like a baby. Just support it with your arms. And just slowly work the foot up. And again, breathing softly, get a release in that hip. Trying to soften in the hip. Good. And really enjoy doing the postures. After you finish the yoga class, your body will feel fantastic because you've stimulated your nervous system, you've improved the blood circulation, improved your immune system. You'll really feel a surge of energy after doing the yoga class. Good. And just slide the foot forward and change sides. Supporting the leg and whatever. So you can just hold with one hand and support the foot. And just try and work it towards you a little bit. So you get a nice stretch in the hip joint. If you can hold it like a baby. Whatever's comfortable for you. And just breathe and release. And if it reasonable, you could just lift the foot a bit higher. Yeah, and then someday you're just slipping behind your head. No, don't worry about that at all. Good, and straighten and release. Good, and then we're going to do a balancing pose. So I want you to sit on your mat with your knees bent, and just start by extending your arms to the side. This is called boat pose. So you just lift up off the floor. So see if you can keep your knees straight, bent, and just get your balance. So and really engage the core, your core muscles to kind of keep that. And if it's comfortable, you can start extending the leg a bit more. Or just keep it bent for now. Good, and release, and just push up, lift up, and release. And we'll do one more time. Good, and push up, and release, and one last time. And this time try and lift your feet off the floor and release. Good. So we'll just do one final set of exercises. Let's exercise our shoulders a little bit, and then we'll do our final relaxation. So in this class, we work every part of our body. And so that's the whole purpose, to get the blood circulating in every different part of your back, your front, your shoulders, your neck, your hips, your knees, every part of your body. So if you could just sit in a comfortable position like this, or if you can sit on your heels, choose either position. If you can sit on your heels comfortably for a few minutes, you can do that, or just sit in a comfortable cross-legged position. So let's start by rotating the shoulders forward. Good, backward, all the way forward. And backward. And then one arm up, one arm down. Good, interlace your hands behind you and just stretch forward. Good, and come up. And now you're going to put the left arm under your right. And if you can reach, you can, otherwise just hold it like this and just breathe and release. Wherever you can hold it. Good, and then release, shake out your shoulders, and then change the other side. Think right out of the left. Good, and breathe and release. Good, and just shake it out. Okay, so we'll now do our relaxation. So you normally we finish our yoga class with a pose called corpse pose, Shavasana. And that's very important to not rush off, but actually to do it, because it helps to really seal in all the work that you've done through your other poses, and just it gives your chance of body to integrate all that work before you then rush around and go back to your normal life. So it's also really the most pleasurable part of a yoga class, as anyone who's done yoga can tell you. It's just absolutely quite, it feels great. So what I want you to do is just lie down on your back, on your mat. Just move it a bit so I've got some room for my arms. So just lie on your back. And just take a few breaths here. And then we're going to do just a little bit of a twist, a shoulder stretch and twist. So just take your right foot on your left knee and go over, just go over, and then just make a circle with your right arm. So your right knee is going across to your left, and you're just rotating the left arm. This just gives you a nice twist, helps you to release your lower back a little bit before we go into the final posture. This is also really good for your If you have any shoulder injuries, this is really good, and also helps to boost your immune system because you have a lot of lymphatic nodes that end up under your armpit. So just circling one way, and then slowly circling the other way. Good, and just come back to the center, and just straighten out both legs, shake out your legs a bit, then put your left knee on top of your right, go over to the right, and just make a circle. You can just have the other arm to the side, and just make a circle. And just keep breathing deeply, releasing. And just enjoy it. Don't need to force anything, just enjoy it. If it feels stiff, take your arm higher up. Just find that good working edge where you're getting a nice stretch, but it's not painful or really uncomfortable. And the first time you do some new postures, it is going to be slightly uncomfortable because your body's not used to stretching, but that's okay. Good, and then rotate the other way. Good, and just roll over onto your back. Take your feet about hip width apart. Let your feet flop out to the side. Take your arms to your side, palms facing up. And just take a minute, take a couple of deep breaths. Breathe in and release. And breathe in and release. So we're going to do a progressive muscle relaxation, and then we're going to go into our final corpse pose. So take your awareness to your right foot. Squeeze the toes of your right foot. Lift the whole leg off the floor. Tense, tense, and release. Squeeze the toes of your left foot. Tense the leg, lifting it off the floor, and release. Now squeeze your buttocks, lift your hips off the floor, and release. Now press the small of the back into the floor, tighten your stomach, and release. Make a fist with your right hand, tense the arm, lift it off the floor, and release. Make a fist with your left hand, tense the arm, lift it off the floor, and release. Now lift up your chest, bring your shoulder blades together, and just soften and release. Now slowly roll your head from side to side. Make sure the movements are really slow, and just release any tension that's built up in your neck. And just come back to the middle, and finally squeezing all the muscles in your face towards your nose. Squeeze, make a lemony pretty face, and release. And just take a couple of deep breaths. So don't lose your focus. I want you to count your breath. So inhale, exhale 1, inhale, exhale 2 until 5, and then back to 1. So just keep the focus on the counting of the breath and just breathing, and just let yourself completely relax into the floor. There's no reason to hold on to anything. Just let yourself completely relax. Just keep your awareness on your breath. So if your mind begins to wander, just gently bring it back to the awareness of the breath and the counting. Good, and begin to deepen your breathing. Take some nice deep breaths and make sure you can hear your breath. Good, and then slowly begin to move your fingers and your toes. And then just slowly bend your knees. And just Bring your knees in towards your chest. And just hug your knees into your chest. Just make a circle with your knees. Massage out that lower back. Keep breathing. Keep your eyes closed. And then just roll over onto your right side. Make a pillow with your arms and just rest. And then gradually begin to open your eyes. And just get accustomed to the light again. And then just gently push yourself up to sitting. Just come to a seated position. Oh, thank you very much. Namaste. And so you should really congratulate yourself. You've done something fantastic for your body. You've you've boosted your immune system. You've reduced the stress. You should be really feeling a rush of energy. And yeah, if you keep doing this on a regular basis, it will change your life. And I can honestly say that, and I've seen that for myself and for many people. And so hopefully this is the start of a journey for you.